GM, everyone. Here, going back live with Idea Down, and hope you guys can see my screen. Yep. So this last to last week, we started with Idea Town and the whole session about how we are going to do it with base fellows. Today, I'm just going to run through some of these ideas, go through a lot of these ideas that people keep posting, and go deep into it so that people can build mini apps and go live with it, right? And somebody who is here right now, Ahan GM sir, if you are live and if you want to jump on board, send me a comment so I can pull you up if you got some good based ideas to build on, right? So just going over some of these ideas, we got a brilliant set of ideas where people would solve for onboarding on Farcaster, people would solve for discovery on Farcaster, and a lot of these games, right? And we are seeing that some of these people have started to build it out on Twitter. You saw Soumya put it out there where people have started to build these ideas. And it's insane on how the Base app is like going to be the distribution platform for a lot of these, right? So going over this weekend, basically, I had some ideas where what I'm going to do is find out um, something where a lot of these crypto accelerators, right? Like I saw one of these they have this idea board and we could go over that where we could pick up one of these ideas and keep breaking it down and seeing if how a small mini app version could be made and how you guys can take it up, make your next startup and things like that, right? So, like, this is Alliance DAO, and it's a famous accelerator. You might have seen Simon from him, Alliance, who puts comments on like base projects and stuff like that. And there's a chance to get like some funding out of it, right? So this is a good place for people to come here, find some startup ideas. And these are some half-baked ideas, right? And these could be actually really good ideas if you could break it down and build on top of it, right? So we'll be using mostly AI and taking one idea at a time, making it down in such a way that it could maybe make it up as a mini app, but something if it is a normal standalone app, that also works, right? So let's go over the first idea. It says a stablecoin powered remittance app where the user can say send $100 to mom and the AI automatically handles the transaction, right? So this is where something, hey Nishad, GM, let me know if you want to jump on board, bro. Yeah. So basically, the first step is pretty simple, right? Like you see where AI is coming into picture now. Recently, there are so many things that are going on where agents are able to pay, right? Like banker is able to pay from X address, your address to somebody's address directly via like a Twitter comment or stuff. This is something similar where it is stablecoin powered, right? So what you need to do is make it in a simple, just like on base, have USDC and things are there, and use USDC as the primary stablecoin, and make sure that the AI agent can transfer USDC to X account, right? So a very simple app could be made out of this. Let's start to dig it into further, right? And breaking it down, right? So what could be like something which I feel could be going on for this is like and simple chat interface, right? It's a simple chat interface, but you need to take in something where what are the inputs that the user will do, right? Because when it comes to building like an AI application, you need to understand that the user can write anything, right? For example, um, it has to process simple user language, right? It doesn't have to hallucinate and stuff like that. For example, it could be, hey, send X USDC to Bhavya, right? And this would be a very simple thing. But it could be also framed into, hey, please send, and things like that, right? So there are so many. parameters that you need to take care of. So a simple chat interface where what could happen is you show two input fields. One would be the USDC amount, and the second would be a drop down maybe to take contacts or something like you could be your friends from the base app or something, right? So just two inputs and then like the AI agent could process it, right? So simple as that, or it could just be like a webhook listener that you deploy and that listens to Twitter comments and stuff like that, right? So this is going to be similar to Banker, the bot and stuff, right? So very simple thing. And let's now, this is what my sort of breakdown was. Let us see how uh, ChatGPT is able to break it down, right? Break this down. It's important to give it some context as well, giving it like both Farcaster and base sort of context as a mini app. And I'm telling it like what AI things could be added to this, right? So it's simple like send to mom, right? That means like it could be like you can integrate an on-chain graph is what it means, where contacts come in. And the system components are simple, listen to your cast, use an OpenAI function, just a very simple app, right? And you don't even need to do this with like Farcaster wallets and Base wallet basically, because that will be handled as well. So yeah, so basic, very simple. A lot of people might have done this already, so we don't need to go into that. And this could be just a simple, very small mini app as well. Just the chat interface should do this trick, right? So can be converted into a mini app. Now let's look at something. Oh, this is really good, right? A launchpad for non-technical people to create AI-generated apps and go IPO via tokenization. So a lot of things that what does it do, right? Like we have started with things like vibe coding and stuff. And the idea here, I think, is that there is a platform which lets non-technical people vibe code and any sort of app and you can go to like an IPO stage with like the whole tokenization aspect out of it, right? So, what could be made out of this idea? Let's throw it here, expand more, and make it. While we do this, I'm just going to go come back here, right? So, what is the advantage of doing this, right? Like you see apps like Lovable exist. You see apps like V0 exist. V0 mainly does like front end, even like Lovable is mainly for front end. Then there is Bolt that does both. It mainly does full stack apps, right? But the idea is they do not have like an on-chain component, right? So like a on-chain component is missing from all of this. And the idea could be very simple, where what you do is you use these platforms, make an app out of them, and then have like an intermediary app that puts on-chain components to an already existing app that you built, you vibe coded out of these. So it could pick it up from all of these platforms and add like a simple on-chain component that would handle tokenization and things like that, right? So basically, so this could be made. So let me try to break it down in through this AI, like through GPT, right? So the idea. Basically, you don't want to replace these applications because they have a whole team building it, right? Like you don't want to build like a V0, but what you want to do is build a thing that can work on top of a V0, right? So yeah. So basically the idea is you auto package in the launchable ad funnel exactly and publish it into a forecaster frame, right? Correct. So what you could do from what I see here as also being broken down is you take any single lovable URL and you parse it and get information of the particular token of the particular app that is being made. And then what you do is extract all of these, right? Like name, purpose, tagline, all the code that is required, whatever you do, you can extract it from the URL and add these on-chain hooks, right? Like for example, if there was like a game that was built using Lovable, what you would do is make like a token equivalent of it for that particular application. And this is something where you could make it would be called like going on chain and things like that. And it would be as simple as like if I was able to break it down here, it would be like enter URL. This would be like a lovable URL. And then what you could do is extract all the details. So basically extract everything and then basically suggest ways to go on chain and then make the required things. Like for example, this would mean launching a token for the app, etc., right? Like you make so there is like a Web2 app already, create like a Web3 go live platform that handles all on-chain stuff, right? So the idea basically what I feel here could be is you don't replace Lovable, you don't replace V0, but you keep all of them and create a platform that helps you go on chain. And basically, it would be as simple as launching a token for now, and you could coin it and you could do a lot of other stuff with it. Yeah, this right here, right? A crowdfunding app for early stage scientific IPs where AI predicts the odds for success. This is something which is a really nice mini app. Let's break this down as well. So there are so many startup ideas here, which I feel can start as a mini app so that you get distribution. And basically, with that, you could see how many users are using your platform and stuff, and work with it, right? So you don't need to fully invest a lot of your resources, your UI, and a lot of stuff that you need to handle for a standalone app. Build it as a mini app, right? And then see how it turns out. So what here things are, what will be required to build this out, right? So it's a crowdfunding app for early stage scientific IPs, right? Like every single IP, every single idea that people want to present, let them present it. And you need to have AI to predict the order of success of something working out. And people invest based on that. So it's a platform basically users come in and add ideas slash fund ideas, right? So this is basically what the user needs to do. Right? Users come in, they add ideas or they fund ideas. That's the two things what the user does, right? Uh, any idea added automatically gets scored by AI. So the whole point of this would be you make AI like a VC slash judge and tell it to like give it a score out of 10, right? Score it out of 10. And users will um, fund the ideas based on the score of AI. Or so this is like one sort of sub like one set of an idea, right? What can happen is the idea gets scored by the AI, and users decide on what to do with it. Like, do I want to invest, like, say, even $5 into the idea or not, based on what the score of the AI is? Or it could be something where you run this for 24 hours, and users, say X users, fund the idea, and then AI then gives a score, and it is like, did you actually fund a good idea or not? And it could also evaluate two things: whether if the AI is working well and actually, actually giving a good score to the idea, or it could be something where simply you actually understand how many users are supporting something and actually what's the outcome of success. So that is also a good option, right? So this is a simple thing where users just follow what AI is giving and give a score on that. Or so it's simple. Users invest X till 24 hours or something. It could be time based, right? Like make sure it is time based. And AI then, after the time is over, gives the score. So what we did basically with this sort of two ideas, right, is like one is people can blindly follow AI, right? So if AI gives a score of 10 to an idea, you should invest, is how people can look at it. So people would put in X amount in like in USDC, whatever, and the idea gets funded. Or it could be where users will put in money and then the AI gives a score. So that is like a competition running, and then you can evaluate whether you liked the idea and it was a good success or not. Okay. Moving on. Oh, I love this. I'm just gonna pick this one because I have so many things where I wanted to build something here, and I feel we could do something, break it down into multiple ideas, right? So a fitness app where your friends can bet on your progress using crypto and offers AI based advice on how to improve. So the idea is simple. Say, for example, user A comes in and starts a challenge of 30 days swimming. Okay. And then the idea is user A's friends will bet on progress, right? So could be one lap in 30 seconds, 30 seconds, right? And so X people say yes will be like 20, say $5, right? And no would be $20 or something, right? And basically, the idea is user A comes in, starts a challenge. All the friends will bet on the progress, whether user A will be able to complete the lap in 30 seconds. So there is this bet starts, and people keep betting, right? And then basically, what is happening here is uh, user, if completed, so like if he completes to do the lap in like 30 seconds, right, which yes is $5 would mean it is going to be possible to do that. It's more chances. If completed, then yes, people will, obviously. And user A also gets a share, like gets some part of it, like maybe say 1% of it, because people work because he's also participating, he's also running the race and stuff like that, right? And if no, obviously user A gets lashed of some his money and so on. So like what you could do has a lot of angles to how you could make this. And we haven't introduced AI here, right? So what you could do here is let me so user A uploads daily tracking videos, flash photos, and AI comments on it. So how I've broken it down is basically in this manner where you start a challenge, your friends bet on what progress you'll make in like say 30 days or something. Um, and the bet starts. You also raise some money out of it, right? Like you get some share if you complete it. If you don't complete it, you should lose some share, right? Because it is showing no progress on your end, and you can get AI to give you video slash photo advice based on what you are posting about, right? It could be like daily streaks or something. So the angles which come into play here, right? Like it could be like a mini app, and you started, say, user A starts challenge. Okay, so these are more other angles where you can explore making this, right. So user A starts challenge, invites X friends with him, right? So it could be, say, 10 people starting daily gym challenge, right? And the idea would be 10 people also stake $10 each. Okay, so this is some one angle. This is the other angle where you start a challenge, invite a number of friends you want to play with, and you are going to start a challenge for X amount of days. And you are also going to stake some dollars, right? You want to participate in a manner where people are going to lose something if they do not follow it, right? So people say that let's start with 10 people staking $10, right? So the prize pool then becomes like $100. And now at 30 days, if if all 10 people make it, right, then they get $100. They get $10 back basically per person, right? So if all people make it, then everyone gets the money back. Obviously, this is like optimistic, right? Some people may drop off and things like that. So the idea would be if one of them does not complete it, their money goes to the person who does, like in divided share. And this idea could be made like a very simple mini app where you invite your friends, use the same Farcaster account, base account, as like use the base app basically, start it in your group chat as a mini app, share it. People join challenges, participate after like putting X amount of money in it, and end of it, just distribute it amongst people, right? So this same fitness app challenge can be divided into multiple ways of building it. I've seen some people try, I think, direct connections to the Whoop band and stuff. I think if there are some APIs, you could use that, and that could also work out, and you don't need to verify a lot, right? So this is also something which could happen and is a good fun mini app for people to be consistent with it, right? This again, like I think we had sort of gone over this idea, but let's go over it in a much more deeper manner here. So it is like a prediction market for long-term events where AI generates evidence for both sides and automatically settles the outcome, right? So prediction markets are really, really hot in the market right now, right? Like so many things happening, and I think they have hit PMF where a lot of people participate, gets used and people use it, right? And it's fun, right? Like you want to bet on will Barcelona win like the next Champions League or something, and that is a fun game to play. So the idea is also simple here, where this would predict long tail of events, right? AI should generate evidence on both sides. So this could be very futuristic, and you start a particular prediction, and AI will give evidence for both sides, and then end of like say 24 hours based on what AI decides it could say, okay, maybe the yes wins or no wins, right? So just breaking it down, say user A came into the platform with a prediction. Prediction would be like flying cars by 2028. Okay. Just the prediction that the user A did. Now, AI will start to gather evidence on both sides, right? And people bet on yes or no based on this evidence presented, but also their gut feeling, right? Like you could obviously wipe it out and you can say there will be like flying cars by 2028 and AI will present you both the sides and people will participate in the prediction market knowing that in 24 hours the result will be out and somebody is going to win and AI will have to give a result as well, like give a strong reason on why the side won. And this as a mini app works really well because it could be, say, for example, a live feed of predictions, right? Like a live feed of predictions. People see what people have predicted, famous people predicting stuff and all, right? Like you can pick some brains here. It could also do one thing where you are participating in so many things. So it's a fun way to, increase your. It's like a game that it becomes out in the end of the day. And then it is simple where you could win something from like a random prediction you do, right? Like flying cars by 2028. You don't even know what is going to be true or false, but you are predicting something for the future. And then there is a chance of you winning something out of it on like a random Tuesday in 2025. So this is possible in crypto and like through mini apps. Very small interface, no need to, make it very fancy. Just like have one live feed going with predictions. People can come in, add their predictions. You need an AI layer to give both sides and choose a winner in 24 hours. That's simple for every X predictions. And yeah, so great product, I think, could be made very simply, like vibe code it out as a mini app and take it live, and then present it to like an actual working audience and see how it turns out. All right. So I think some of these ideas got covered from Aliens now. Let me know if you guys find some other crypto accelerators that have a good set of idea list, right? I have some other ideas that I had written down. Give me, yeah. So, okay. So very simple sort of thing that struck me, right? And we were at like a network cafe in like a network school, and the idea was like Twitter has like really expensive APIs, right? And what could happen and what could be made is something where a lot of these applications got shut down on Twitter because of the API cost. What people could do is make all of those apps for Firecaster because Firecaster is open and people are not going to get banned, or like the APIs are not going to cost so much. So you could make something like a cast scheduler, very simple, just to play around with, like Farcaster, mini apps, and like an intro project. Like what you do is you let users draft a cast, very simple. Like it could be a GM that goes on like the 9 in the morning, things like that, and let it go live later. Very simple. Adding to this, what you could do is you could have an AI assistant rewrite the same sort of cast based on what is working at that particular time of the day using Ninar, right? So most people have maybe heard of Ninar, but what Ninar is like the hub, easiest way to get like data from Farcaster, right? And you just check nina.com. Basically, you'll find like how to develop mini apps, create these AI agents going live on Farcaster, build clients of Farcaster, which is something you could do, and you can search and debug. And it also has like, let me go through the APIs. Yeah. So the docs here, you will see like all these APIs, right? You will find a lot of information. For example, all the users that get registered on your app, you could go ahead and find all their casts, right? Like you could find users' most popular casts. And how this would work is like, for example, so let's go here. Okay. So imagine you are building something for yourself. Okay. So you wanna you wanna go famous on Farcaster. Right? So that's your goal. You wanna go famous on Farcaster and increase your reach, right? And for this, an obvious thing to do is post more, right? Post more and interact more, right? A lot of these guides are already there. How do you automate this for yourself, right? What you could do is, say, for example, you get your 10 best performing cars. Okay. So you get your 10 best performing cars. And what you're going to do is make a scheduler where AI writes cars for you, right? So how would this work is, for example, using Nenar, like I said, we would find a user's top 10 most popular cars, right? And this would change maybe as you keep casting and stuff. And what you would need to do is use the same text, use the same sort of grammar, use same sort of vocabulary and the vibe of the cast, right? And create a generator for these casts. So these tasks would be generated using AI, but they would be personalized for the particular user on a particular topic. So, for example, you could say user enters topic. It would be say I wanna talk about AI, right? So I said I want to talk about AI. I'll give context. I'll say worked at X for this year, these years, developed Y, and so on, right? So on. So basically, user will just enter the topic that they want to talk about and give the context. Like I have done this, I've done that. And what this cast, what you should generate is like 10 casts based on user's tone and give it a schedule. So basically, what we did here was you are making this app, a mini app, very simple that is going to cast for users, right? And users want to grow on Farcaster. That's the goal. So you will take a topic from the user. It would be AI, it would be something, and it would also ask for additional context, like what do you want to talk about? I said, I want to talk about AI. This is what I know about AI. I've done this XYZ, right? Very simple, natural language, whatever user gives us. Using all of that, we'll generate 10 casts for the user and automatically schedule them at particular times, right? So 10 casts based on user's tone and give it a schedule and automatically just cast it for the user, right? So this will prove that user doesn't need to, come back, check a Farcaster again and see what happened. Once the casts are scheduled, they will go live and you don't need to worry about anything. So this is the cast scheduler app, right, that you can make where people will draft cast, make AI draft the cast, right? You don't want people to rewrite a lot of stuff. So let AI do personalized, targeted cast for. And this is a very, so this one is the cast scheduler, which I thought would be really cool to make as a mini app. Very simple. People would maybe pay for this, not sure. But if you guys are coming into like Farcaster, you should know that start off with trying to make apps which are gonna make you, popular, make people use your apps a lot more, and then you don't need to worry about a lot of say the monetization aspect of it because there are rewards on Farcaster where your if your mini app is performing really well, you get those credits, you get those direct account credits to you, right? Like USDC rewards. So you don't need to worry about all of the monetization standpoint and make people use your app more. So get users um, and always like put your users in like a super base DB or sorts so that you know that X users, you have X users for your mini app basically. The other one is Anon inbox, where people can send you anonymous questions. You choose which ones to cast replies to. Good for creators and AMOs. Very simple. We have done like you have seen this work on Instagram and stuff, where you would get these questions come in to you. It would be preferable to people who are like popular and stuff, right? You want to ask them questions and things, and you will get some replies that you get. So the intermediary thing, right? So let's take this and break it down as a mini app. Yeah. So basically, what you need to do is users start anon question box, question inboxes. So you need to start like a inbox session of 24 hours, right? Uh, Other users can submit questions, comments, etc. So this inbox should be able to take all of this and not, like reveal the identity of the user. So it should be completely anon to both the party, not the both the party, sorry, but like the one who's reading it. So if user is age box, he doesn't know who are you questioning. Basically that, right? And this could be made where you send these questions and the user A will reply to them there itself, but not as like a reply, right? What you would do is if there is a famous thing, right? For example, um, we could ask Jesse like when is base app going to non-beta mode, right? Like when is it going to be released? And this question goes as like anonymously, right, to Jesse. And what he could do is the answer would be a cast, right? So basically, you don't need to reply to the person, but you would take this question directly and choose to reply whatever you want, right? So Jesse replies, uh, like say for example, tomorrow is the date where it goes mainnet or non-beta mode, and yeah, and that would go as a cache from his account, so a lot of people can see it. That would prove that not everyone needs to come in and check inbox and see a lot of stuff. It would just simply be directly accessible through like a Farcaster feed. So yeah, so this is also something which can be made. No need to worry about the anon side of things. Like there could be ZK stuff made here, but no need to go into that because your your server can only handle it for you, and you don't need to show it to anybody. All it matters is the user who started the box doesn't know who asked this question, right? And that's about it, right? If your server knows it, it is fine for now. There are ways to do that. There are ways to avoid that as well if you want, and you should explore that for you. But for now, for a simple use case, this also works. And few other ideas that wanted to highlight here. This probably might be some last idea that we go into. And this is a very fun sort of game that I thought about. So, okay. So basically, like, yeah. So the idea is like to have like a battle arena of sorts. And games like this work really well. Clash Royale works well, XYZ, a lot of other games will work well. Pokemon games also work well, right? So what is this idea? It is that you come up with like AI generated characters, follow a theme, right? You follow Beyblade, you follow Pokemon, whatever theme that you want to follow, and make them battle in like on-chain duels. Okay. So how would this work as a mini app where say, for example, users come in and create their profiles. So noting it down here. So user A will create profile. Okay. And then user A should also get some boxes for characters. Right. So the idea would be to make it such that you have these character boxes that people open, and that boxes would have these characters which were AI generated, right? And these characters have abilities, uh, whatever abilities that you come up with, preferably in like abilities JSON to AI. So basically here you would define like an abilities JSON, for example, flying or like fire, whatever like power you want to give them. Give it to them in like a standard abilities JSON, define it so that the AI creates them similar to each character generator. And these characters will be minted to them as NFTs. Okay, and then these users can come in. So this is one part of it where user creates profile, gets some boxes for characters, and these characters have abilities to, you know, and this would be created as like an NFT added to profile. So this is probably one section of it where what you need to do is user A get all of these users to come in to your platform and create such characters by opening these boxes. And these would be NFTs that get added. And this would be really cool because some of them are like special editions and things like that. Then user A can pick three characters they have. Say, for example, whatever character, like for, let's go with Charmeleon, right? I hope the spelling, yeah, yeah. Charmeleon, etc., right? Just picking Pokemon as the base here. And so I'll pick three characters from my characters that I got and start a battle. This will be, so then this requires other online users slash send notifications notice to friends. Okay. So with Farcaster, you guys know that we can send notifications to users, right? And this way, what we should do is, so it might be possible that a lot of people are not online at that particular time, or the mini app is not open and stuff. That is why you need to have this feature where you can send notifications to your friends. So if I am playing, I pick my three sort of characters that I want to begin with, and I'll send notifications to people I want to play against, right? And these people would get notified and they would come online and pick their user, the picks their three characters. Okay. So these three characters now being picked are the going to start the battle arena. You allow them to play, click on NFTs, place them in like a arena of sorts, and battle it out. And the battle could be conducted directly through AI, where it is fully. It could be through manual ways also. So what you could do is you could pick the character, let the user pick the character, and participate in the battle, and then decide on what moves to do. At each step, both the users will decide a particular move to do, and the battle begins. And whoever was fast, or whoever had the better attack and stuff will win. So very simple. And then what you could do is exchange your NFTs with your friends, right? Like exchange NFTs. NFTs are basically the characters itself. So you could bet some characters. You could bet on chain USDC to win the match, post tournament. So it's ultimately a lot of stuff can happen through this particular application. And what I feel is possible is you could host these tournaments where people participate. A lot of people come in and you crown one champion and they get like say 100 USDC because the starting was like 10 USDC for everyone and they lost it. They couldn't perform and stuff. So this could be a very, very fun game to build. And player versus player battles usually are great. So yeah. And just let's do one thing where we will break it down further. So break this down further into a okay. So usually how to make this even with like a vibe coding app and stuff is you would want to like go to your chat GPT or Gemini of sorts and tell it to generate like a PRD, which is what I'm trying to do here, right? So it's saying AI turns it to a battle character with custom stats and visuals, right? So you could generate images, and image generation is very, very good right now with AI. And these characters are minted as an NFT, so you are collecting them. right? And it becomes really great to also involve some monetization if your NFTs are looking great. There is a way to, have like a good NFT contract out there. People, play, keep it as displays and stuff. And you store them in like users battle deck and can be used in TV views and stuff. Oh, this is very interesting. Where what it did was, it said summon a cyber dragon with laser eyes, and the output would be the name of the Laserian, description of the dragon, all the attacks, abilities, and like an AI generated image, right? Use DALI or something. And minting flow would be user confirms, NFTs minted on base and stored in the user's profile deck. Now this becomes like a collectibles. Ooh, okay. So there is a whole angle where it becomes like a marketplace, right? Where people can all the minted characters are tradable, which is really cool. Without even actually playing the game, you can have these characters in a game where you are trading them based on what you like and the powers and the images and stuff. You can bid for them. There is rarity involved where there is a whole like common characters to legendary characters and stuff. And you can see ownership, right? Somebody only one million in the game, so only one person owns it and stuff. And then there is the battle system. So you see, the idea was I was able to break it down here, but I couldn't think I couldn't think of like collectibles marketplace, which GPT suggested, and it is something you can add very easily, right? Then there is whole battle system which we went into, where it would die rolls and stat modifiers, trigger bonuses, and winner gets XP, leader points, all this kind of stuff we thought about. There is leaderboard involved, which we didn't think of, where people are getting scored off based on like FIDs. So you will see your wins, loses, streaks. People get motivated to play a game when they see some sort of a leaderboard going on between their friends and stuff. And the integration is simple, right? So, oh, okay. What could happen is you could challenge somebody directly through like, a cast and say battle at the Bhavya core, and you just cast it and it will create you a battle for you in that game using like Nena webhooks, which is really good, right? Like Bhavya core battle here, and this arena bot starts it, and these are like turn one, turn two, and somebody wins in the end, right? And this is what I was saying. Like, think about all the attributes that you can put here onto your characters and then have AI generate them. Start with say like 100 characters in game. There is some initial thinking, creativity, AI stuff to do, but if made really well, there is a lot to be involved here, right? And could be a very fun mm, battle royale on like on chain aspects as like a mini app, which would be very cool to play, right? So okay, just summarizing now, since we reached the hour mark, we went over things where we started with Alien stuff, where there are so many apps here which you can look at as inspirations to build some startups, right, for you, and just build AI crypto apps. And we went over them and put them in this idea down where you could make it as a mini app, because mini app is a good way to start an application for yourself without worrying about everything a lot, right? So this is something you should do, where go or find inspiration. This is going to be a board, not this, but like a Airtable, which is in the process, where you will find all of these ideas here and much more as we do these streams into an Airtable of sorts, where you can take a look at it, have already broken down idea like how GPT has broken this down, and build on top of it. and build it as a mini app using Farcaster, Ninar, Base as the chain aspect of it. And that is why you would be able to find distribution and go on chain much quicker. Yes, and I feel this particular idea is something which I'm really, very much into, as this is a very fun mini app game that people can play and build. There is creativity with like making the NFTs good and stuff, but if made really well, and with AI, you can generate all of the images well. So you should be able to make this as well. All right. I think so. Yeah. With that said, hope you guys really enjoyed the stream. We went over, say, 7 ideas this stream. Have a bunch of other ideas being cooked on, and we'll share like an airtable soon. Um, Give me suggestions on what you guys would like to see as well in the streams, and if you guys want to come on board and live stream it with me, that would be fantastic. Hit me up on Telegram or something on Twitter as well to be online with me and code this out. Maybe, break it down further and stuff. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Yes.